пройдет много-много лет, и ты будешь слушать эту кассету. Знаешь, как будет тебе интересно? Меня уже, наверное, не будет на свете. И ты будешь тогда. Интересно послушать.
The long goodbye, it's different than I imagined. We're catching up on lost time, learning from each other and giving back in ways I never expected. Caring for my father in his final stages of dementia is a blend of heartache and healing. Every moment is precious. It's about making the most of the time we never had together. As I watch him slip away, I'm profoundly grateful for the moments we've shared and lessons learned and the love that remains. Our relationship has deepened in the final years, a bittersweet journey of connection and loss. Even as time runs out, the bond we share endures, forever etched in my heart.
Подожди, я начну.
Давай.
Старый барабанщик крепко спал, встал, проснулся, перевернулся и фашисту морду дал. Пам, парапам, парапам-бам-бам.
It's 1938 and Joseph Stalin is the supreme leader of the Soviet Union. The world is tense, life is tough, and kids dream of extra potatoes. And on January the 6th, my father, Vladimir L. Sheiman, is born. He is raised by Jewish parents in the city of Rostov-on-Don. His father, Lev Izakovich, an accountant and a veteran of the Great Patriotic War, and his mother, Sofia Mironovna, a dedicated nurse. They lived in a humble home with limited resources, yet filled with love and resilience. In 1941, at the age of 3, war breaks out. The Germans invade Rostov, and his father volunteers to go to the front lines to defend his family and nation. He and his mother are evacuated to Chimkent, Kazakhstan, where they live for the remainder of the war.
Я помню один кусок, когда через озеро переходили, и второй кусок, когда из товарного поезда выскочили. Немцы бомбили, и мы вышли, да, вот это я помню.
It's 1945 and the Soviets are celebrating their victory. My grandfather returns from the war and brings the family back to Rostov. Dad continues his education, discovering a passion for building radios from war debris. His brilliance shines, and he skips a few grades. At 16, he graduates, ready to leave home and perfect his Soviet homemade radios.
Из всех сапожников на свете считают лучшими армян. Сапожник лучший из армян – поэт Ашот Гарнакирьян.
Right, so now we find ourselves in 1953. Stalin dies and Dad gets accepted to Taganrog Radio Technical University. He graduates in 1959 as a radio engineer with an excellent mark of principles of Marxism and Leninism, because getting that wrong just wasn't an option. Now in his 20s, it's time to let loose and embrace the Soviet 60s. He buys a Yava 350 motorbike, ready to explore the southern lands of the USSR. I just wonder what they used to listen to in the 1960s.
Добрый вечер. Я спою песню Арно Бабаджаняна «Улыбнись».
Ну что так робко стоишь? О чем задумалась ты опять? Звучит веселый мотив, зовет он нас танцевать. Спеши, ведь песня не ждет, одно вокруг все зажгла. Если сердце поет, тут не нужны слова. Тебя зовут, услышишь песней своей. Ну улыбнись поскорей, пусть твое сердце поет всегда.
Давай расскажем смерть поэта. Погиб поэт, невольник чести,
пал оклеветанной молвой, свинцом груди и жажды мести поникнул гордой головой.
Слушай, что-то мне в голову глупость пришла. Третьего подставить сюда, и мне еще вид Пушкина.
It's the late 60s, and Dad ends his 20s by moving to Moscow after getting accepted to the prestigious Moscow Aviation Institute for a postgraduate course, attracting the brightest minds in the Soviet Union. In Moscow, he spent several years conducting research, writing papers, and inventing new radio instrument technologies, earning numerous patents, though in the Soviet Union, those patents were considered state property. He even made it into the local paper for his achievements and becoming a scientific supervisor for a group of students at the university. During this time, he also earns the Medal of Inventor of the USSR, awarded to individuals who made significant contributions to technological innovation and advancement.
Happy birthday, dear Vlad.
It's the 1980s and Moscow is buzzing with excitement as the Summer Olympics take center stage. Dad, now in his 40s, experiences 5 pivotal moments in his life. First, he brings his elderly parents to Moscow, caring for them with the same dedication they showed him until their passing. Then he meets my mum at an outdoor ice skating rink and sweeps her off her feet with his dance moves. During this time, he embarks on a quest to find his long-lost relatives who moved to Australia during World War I. Next, I'm born, adding a whole new chapter to his life. And if that wasn't enough, he invents the ultrasonic nebulizer and names it Desonic after his firstborn son, later known as the electric bong. I guess it's time to see how good my dad's dance moves really are.
По переулкам бродит лето, солнце льется прямо с крыш. Под потоки солнечного света у киоска ты стоишь. Блестят обложками журналы, на них с восторгом смотришь ты. Ты в журналах увидала королеву красоты. Я одной тобой любуюсь, и сама не знаешь ты, что красотой затмишь любую королеву красоты. И я иду к тебе навстречу, и я несу тебе цветы, как единственной на свете королеве красоты. И с тобою связан навеки я, ты жизнь и счастье, любовь моя. Красавиц видел я немало, и в журналах, и в кино, но ни одна из них не стала лучшей, милой все равно. И даже сам я не заметил, как ты вошла в мои мечты. Ты милее всех на свете, королева красоты.
Хорошо живется тебе?
Пока не горим.
Это наше будущее, все, что мы строим.
Mingling with the rush hour traffic, Red Army armoured personnel carriers on the streets of Moscow this morning, heading to the Kremlin. They first moved in at 4 a.m., the first sign of the coup d'etat that removed Mikhail Gorbachev from power.
It's August of 91, and Boris Yeltsin stands atop of a tank resisting the Soviet coup. By December, the Soviet Union collapses and the borders open, In '92, my father, who dreamed of leaving for decades, is finally free to migrate to Australia and reunite with his long-lost relatives.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will have commenced our final approach at the Sydney Skeenston Smith Airport. Please ensure that you have your seat backs in the upright position and that your seatbelts are securely fastened. The cabin crew ensure the doorways are clear and resume their seats for landing.
Here he experiences a sense of true freedom and reconnects with his first cousin, Victor May. He continues his work while raising his family. However, unfortunately, his relationship with my mother breaks down a few years later. He goes on to raise me as a single father, doing his best to give me all the opportunities he never had as a child. His work leads him to foster important ties within the scientific community, and his ultrasonic nebulizer, affectionately known as the electronic bong, makes an appearance in the Daily Telegraph. Now was my time to give back. It was time to get to know my father as an adult and show him everything I knew so he could be proud of his son. Over the last couple of years I cared for him, cherishing every moment we had together. I didn't know how much time we had left, but I wanted to make every moment count. In those moments, we deepened our bond, shared stories and experiences. I learned more about the man behind the achievements and felt his pride in me grow. It's never too late to reconnect, and these years were a precious gift allowing us to truly connect as father and son. To the man who taught me the value of hard work, perseverance and love, this film's for you, Dad. Thank you for everything.
За что пьем? А за что мы пьем? Подожди. За что мы пьем? За что?
Спасибо, Бразилия.
Спасибо, Бразилия.